Hey, what is up, everybody? So today I wanted to talk a little bit about delegation, really. And so just to start us off, right, if you're somebody that's right now working themselves into a leadership position, find yourself owning a company, leading a department, something like that, today's a great time to kind of check yourself, check yourself before you wreck yourself. That just came out. I don't know why. That's a cool ass statement. But anyways, but checking yourself and kind of checking your motives, right? I love this idea of like starting with why. Before you start something, kind of know why. So depending on where you're at with your journey, just kind of doing a little check-in, right? Like, why do I want to do the things that I want to do? Why am I setting the goals that I want to set? Why am I heading in this direction? Because leadership is, a lot about serving other people, quite frankly. There's the idea of servitude leadership and controversies around that. Not going to get into that. But at the end of the day, if you want to be a leader, there's no way that you can get around serving other people. So really, I think as people are working their way into a leadership position, I think it's important for them to kind of just check their motives, right? Like, am I doing this because I just want to make millions of dollars? That's it. Put the bang in a buck. That's it. Or am I doing this because I want to finally control somebody? It is time, damn it, for me to set the pace, for me to tell people what to do. Or is it a status thing? Like, I'm tired of being the lonely little me. I want to have some status. I want somebody to call me boss. You know what I mean? And just kind of checking those motives. And listen, there is nothing wrong with money. I love money as much as the next guy, right? So there's nothing wrong with the idea of like money being involved in decision making, right? Like, you can't take it out of there. So I'm not going to attempt to take it out, and I'm going to remove all evilness. Money is not evil. People are evil, right? And so money is not the root of all evil. But you do want to ensure that your motives for leadership, right, are centered and aligned with a good purpose, right? So if you're looking to be a leader, to lift up others, to build other people up, to grow other people, to impact and improve other people, right? My friend, you're in the right spot, okay? So I first took, going into our real estate journey, right? So I first took old house, so a fix and flip model, right? So I took an old house and I fixed and I flipped it. It took a house that was an eyesore to a neighborhood that everybody was like, oh God, as they drove by it and just cringed, right? And then I got to pull that into like the house that everybody wanted to walk through and come through with the open houses and tell their friends and try to get their friends to move into it, right? And there was such a fulfilling experience for me to make something, better, right? Like, I love to do it. And now as I've kind of grown the company, while we still do this with houses, my greatest joy, right? And I still have a passion for that and improving neighborhoods and all that kind of stuff. But my greatest passion really comes out of the idea of like helping others, right? So all I did was I took an old house and then kind of made it realize its potential, right? Like, we build new houses now, but in the old days, like, that's all I did. Like, the house existed, and all I did is I just brought it up to see its fullest potential. And now my greatest passion comes out of doing that with people. I love to get people on board with me in the company and kind of working towards this goal together and see them kind of realize and fulfill their lives to their truest, greatest potential. And that's what gives me the most amount of passion as a leader. And I think having that mindset as a leader is going to behoove you well as a leader and behoove your business as well. So if you have similar kind of thoughts and processes on this, like, I think you're in the right spot. If you totally think I'm crazy, I don't know. Maybe it might not be the right channel for you. We'll see. And so with that, in order to be a good leader, you have to get into this idea of delegation, which is easier and harder for all of us for different reasons. Some people look at delegation as it's like a dirty word, right? But to be a successful leader, you've got to learn the power of delegation and how to avoid some of the pitfalls of delegation. And so I love this statement. So there's a statement out there that says, delegate and elevate, baby, right? And meaning you've got a lot of responsibilities on your plate, a lot of tasks that you're doing, and you've got to be able to delegate some of that stuff off so you can elevate, the stuff that you're working on. If you're looking at your day and you're like, holy crap, my task list is this big. I think I'm off the screen. My task list is this big. It's just off the screen, right? But there's only so many hours in a day. Like, you've got to recognize some of that stuff. Recognize those to-dos, get those delegated off so you can elevate your performance up. And a side note, this can be a business standpoint or a professional standpoint. Like, from a business or professional, you get it? Business or personal standpoint. So I do this in my personal life as well. My wife and I both work extremely hard. We sometimes work extremely long hours. And I will be the first one to say that sometimes I don't spend as much time with my family as I want to. But if I have a limited amount of time that I want to spend with my family, I tend not to want to spend it cleaning all the nooks and crannies of the house. I have somebody that's able to come in, and it's not that cleaning is beneath me. It's not that I look down on it, but it's just the idea of, if I only have 4 hours with my kids this weekend, am I going to spend that 4 hours, yelling at everybody to scrub the friggin' floors, or can I delegate that off so that I can elevate my time and put it into building the relationship and quality time spent with my kids? So you can see this on personal standpoints and professional standpoints, right? Your time is priceless. There's a lot of tools that you can look at to figure out what you want to delegate. They call them delegation matrices, right? One task that I like to do is just grab a notebook sometimes and write down every damn thing that you've got to do in a day, in a week, and all of these responsibilities. And then you can kind of just categorize them off into, things that there's different categories, right? Things that you love doing and are great at, things that you hate at and you suck at. And you want to be able to focus your time on the things that are the higher level tasks that get you the best reward, both financially and emotionally, the things that build you up, that give me energy. I do things all the time where I'm at the end of the day, I realize how much this task drained my energy. And for me, that's sitting behind the desk. If I'm just behind a desk, working spreadsheets, working some sort of process and don't get up, I've spent almost no energy, and I end that day with even less energy. It's amazing. But if I'm out and about and talking and moving and grooving, I have 10 times more energy at the end of the day. So focusing on what's giving you both your emotional rewards and paychecks, but also, finances mean a little something in through there, right? Like what's giving me the best bang for my buck in my time. And as you figure out these things that you hate to do, that you suck at doing, that offer no return, financially or emotionally or spiritually, those are the first things that you should kill and you should delegate, right? Sounds pretty, intuitive and stupid, but running through that exercise is huge. And as I've been working through my leadership journey, I've uncovered a deeper meaning to this idea of delegation and elevation, right? It allows me to elevate what I'm doing. But now I also look at this as a purpose in growing the team around me and helping them realize their potential. As I'm giving them delegated tasks or things to do or delegated responsibilities, this is really a huge opportunity for them to elevate themselves up. I love the statement of build your own house. You're always building your own house. I talk about this all the time, and it's a process that it's a concept that before I ever even read it in a book, I feel like I lived it. I lived it from the time that I was at least 15 when I took on my first job. Every task that I did, I feel like I did like I was building my own house. It was much bigger than what the task was. Whether I was cleaning the floors at the grocery store, I did that damn job the best. I was the best cleaner of those floors, and it was part of me building my own house and building my own opportunities to come up. The best opportunity is the one that you've got in front of you right now, and doing the best, being the best steward of the time and the responsibilities that are at your plate, right? But anyways, and I see that as I give that to other people. That's an opportunity for them to prove themselves, to build themselves up, as leaders into our company. So as you're looking at yourself, right, as you're looking at developing yourself as a leader and somebody who wants and needs to delegate things out, it starts with you first, right? With your own productivity, right? Are you a productive person? Are you a successful person? And that productivity and success is what's going to start with your credibility, which is going to be very important in your ability to delegate and lead other people. You see, leadership is all about influence, really. And while you might be the owner of a company, you might have some fancy title of manager or whatever, but your ability to lead and influence other people goes beyond that title, right? Goes beyond the fact that you're the person that's cutting the paycheck, right? You've got to develop a relationship. You've got to develop credibility and trust towards those you want to lead. It was once said that those that are leading other people with nobody following, they're just going for a walk. They're not leading, right? And so for someone to follow you, they're going to ask 3 questions, right? Before they want to follow you. Number 1, do you care? Do you care about me as a person, as an employee at all? 2, can you help me? Going back to that productivity and success, right? Can you even help me? Are you even in a spot where you can bring me from where I am to where I want to go? Number 3, can I trust you? There's a lot of things that go into those 3 simple questions. Seems basic, right? Those 3 simple questions. There's a lot of stuff to unpack within there, right? But just to sum this all up, so going into the steps of delegation. First, I say, listen, you've got to recognize your need for help, right? The first way to fix a problem is first recognizing that a problem exists. Recognizing that you're in a position of like, holy crap, I got too much on my plate here. I need some help, right? 2, going through those delegation matrices, right? What is it that I actually need help with? What can and what should I be delegating out? 3, clumping, maybe a group of those things together and saying, who would I need to delegate those to? I talked earlier in this video the idea of like, put me behind a desk and I am going to be drained at the end of the day. I wouldn't last long in a position like that. I could be a great dude, I'm humble, but I can be great at a lot of things, but put me in a position that like kills me every single day. I will do my damnedest, but I'm not going to be a 10-year employee in that spot, right? I just can't do it. And so recognizing what tasks you're looking to delegate, who the right profile person is for that, who you're able to bring into your company based on like, how much should they make for this type of position job? Am I in a position where I can afford to do that? Having some of those questions and thoughts into there. And then finally, we could go on for this for a long time, but the idea of how to set them up for success. Recognizing you have a problem and what to delegate and finding the right person is great. That's a huge, huge undertaking. But at the end of the day, you've gone through all of that friggin' work, and at the end, you've got to be able to set them up for success. I'll say first and foremost, people can't hit a hidden target. If they don't know what they're shooting for, if they don't know what success looks like in that position in your company, they're not going to be successful because they don't know what the hell does success even look like. So setting them up with the right processes, right? Setting them up with the idea of like, how and when do I ask for help? How and when, what tasks am I able to do on my own? What tasks do I need to come to you for, right? I think those are really big. And they change as they build their house and they grow and they develop, right? Those tasks and things can change and they can take on more and more. But remember, you as the leader, right? You set the standards. You control the standards. And you are still ultimately responsible for the success of your company. You could delegate things off, but at the end of the day, big dog with a big title got big responsibility, right? And so I'm sure extreme ownership is one of my favorite things. It's one of my core value in my company. So I'm sure we'll be talking about extreme ownership at some other point. But thanks for watching. If you've stayed on this long, you're freaking awesome. And thanks for watching. And until next time, I am Zach Betters, wishing you a great day and an even better tomorrow. Thanks, guys.